Where the Treetop Glistens, Part 3. Artie Odometer was having nothing to do with it. Why would I get involved with any of you? Apparently we can't even trust each other. We're the only ones who knew the bags were in the safe. So it's a safe bet. One or more of us took them. Bill Leftfoot scratched his head. Think about it for a minute. We also knew they didn't contain any money. So why would any one of us want empty bags? That doesn't make any sense. Pete Gone Missing added. This whole thing is screwball. It just gets weirder as it goes along. I'm beginning to think someone's playing a joke at our expense, and they're laughing behind our backs. Old Joe rumbled. Perhaps you're right. Someone is playing loose with the truth, revealing only so much but holding back important information regarding the money. As you said, it comes down to the level of trust, and we just don't trust each other. Ellen played the gambit. So let's just put it to a test. We cut up pieces of paper and write on them. Either we have the money or we don't. It's anonymous. Don't sign the paper. Put the pieces in that box over there for charity. Pull them out one at a time and see what emerges. Old Joe snarled. You don't really expect anyone to confess, do you? Alan replied. You're the one who said we are being played for fools. It might just give them a chance to prove it by rubbing our nose in it right in front of our faces. The paper was cut up. One pen passed around from person to person. The papers were folded, placed in a charity box, one at a time, then mixed up before they were pulled out. Artie Odometer read off the results. He held up the first paper, unfolded, and read it. He declared, I didn't do it. I don't have any money. The second piece appeared. I didn't take the money. The third slip came out. I have the money. The fourth, I don't have any money. The fifth, I have half the stolen loot. This result produced two main reactions. The first one was complete silence. The second was the thought, if the money still existed, then there is a chance they might still get the share. Artie Odometer chortled. Well. That's quite a declaration. Quite a declaration indeed. Two among us have the money. Stolen money, I might add. If anyone's going to jail, it's those two, and not the rest of us. Maybe not. Let's go through it. You two guys, Ellen pointed at Bill and Pete, found the money and tried to hide it. So you're implicated. Artie and myself recovered the money. So we were in possession of stolen goods and then transported them. So we're involved. You, Joe, you took the stolen property and put it in your safe. So you were the last one to have possession. In other words, nobody's off the hook. The only real question remaining is which one of us will crack under investigation by the cops. I think it's likely. For full disclosure, I have about half the money. Artie laughed. Might have guessed that. You're a pretty cool cucumber. Why tell us now? She pulled out a pile of bills from her backpack and placed them on the table. Because we're all implicated, just like I said. And we are, at the moment, our worst enemies. One person spills the beans, and we all go down. She separated the money into 5 even stacks. You're free to take your share, but if you do, there isn't any going back. Artie Odometer called out. Hold on, where's the rest? Old Joe chortled. Well played, Miss Ellen. Turning towards Artie, he spread his arms, smiling. I got it. He went into his office and reappeared a few minutes later with a drawer from his desk containing the money. The 5 stacks of money doubled in size. He glanced up at his small audience. It's easy at this point. Either you're in or you're out. If you take the money or even if you don't, looks like the consequences are the same. Artie Odometer whistled through his teeth slowly. How did we all get caught up in this? I wonder if this happens all the time. 1 second you're a law-abiding citizen, and the next you got your head in a noose without any way to extract it yourself. Bill Leftfoot nodded. Ever imagine what it would feel like being a criminal when you were a kid? It's not the way I thought. Seems to be very little peace of mind attached to it. There's always this desire to know how much others are aware of your pursuits, the constant need to tune into various media to see where the trackers are in their investigations. There is a decided lack of built-in fairness to the whole business. I mean, here we are with the money. We've been successful. Whoever had the money before us lost it. That should be the end of it. But it isn't. We are waiting for them to take up the chase, if they haven't already. We will be forever peering through tightly drawn curtains and wondering if the next knock at the door will be the knock of the arrestor. Oh, and let's not forget the camaraderie between ourselves either, added Pete Gone Missing. Look around you. We're quite willing to turn each other in to save our own skin. If it were possible to wiggle ourselves out of this jam and let all the rest take the fall, we would have done it already. We no longer have to wonder about the criminal mindset. It has been thrust upon us. Ellen Opengate didn't quite agree. It's still better than Melba toast, isn't it? It's better than filling your days wondering if your socks are too tight, or if you forgot to put the lid on the peanut butter again, going down to the corner store to buy yet another ticket at a never-ending lottery where your odds never improve. You're talking about quality of life, aren't you? Old Joe inquired. An existence where you have a stake in the game, where you're on the inside looking out, where minute decisions matter versus a life of the mundane. One where you have a calendar on the wall with a date marked on it when you have to next defrost the fridge. Who wouldn't want to be Long John Silver yelling, "Take down the Union Jack and raise the Jolly Roger"? Various voices followed, throwing ideas in all directions. Are they even looking for anyone? Has anyone been watching the news? Perhaps there's a reward being offered for the return of the money. Maybe the blame fell on the bank employees who left the bags on the rear bumper. Could have been an inside job all along. The 20,000 was never cataloged and therefore wouldn't be missed when they arrived at their destination. We could put it back in the tree and report its whereabouts. Say we just happened to come along and spot them. We don't have the original bags. They were taken when the safe was broken into. They're not going to believe. A pillowcase stuffed with money hanging in a tree. The bags are out in the back alley. I spotted them earlier when I went to get the money from the desk drawer. Guess whoever broke into just threw them out when they discovered they were empty. Artie Odometer summed up the situation. We have this much going for us. We have a lack of witness. There are no descriptions anyone can give to the police. If they are following anything, it's the money itself. And it's safe to say, since we transported the cash, the last location they have of the money itself is on the back of the bumper of the truck. Still, I see for all of that money sits undisturbed on the table before us, and I wonder why that is, and what that fact is trying to tell us. Bill Leftfoot shuffled his feet, felt this growing impatience to say something, to sum up the situation. Look, it's us. It's only us. You are worried about me. I get it. What sort of reaction am I capable of? It's the same exact thing I wonder about you. How far are you willing to go? So far, nobody's mentioned murder. But let's face it, you lot are the only people who can tie me to the money. If I were to dispose of each of you, that money would be mine. My only fear would be the thought that I might have slipped up and left some clue as to my identity. The risk just might be worth it, because as far as I'm aware, every person who could possibly link that money to me is in this room right now. Oh, but that isn't true. Old Joe picked up a business card from the counter, held it up in the direction of Bill Leftfoot. Everyone is here, except for, I believe she said her name was Honey Glazed. She is a member of Honey Glazed and Boyle, a detective agency. She could possibly pick you out of a police lineup. They have trained themselves to remember details. I would be surprised if faces weren't one of those details. So what are you suggesting now? Demanded Artie Odometer. We go take care of her before we turn against one another? Pete, gone missing, mused. Nobody's talking murder. Are you crazy? Get a grip. But it does clarify a dilemma we're in, and the fact that the money is an ever-growing burden. I wish there was a simple way of getting rid of it before it has time to bring us all down. The bell above the door dinged as a new customer came in. Ellen shielded the money from being seen. Old Joe greeted the new customer. Hello, may I help you? Mrs. Wiggle looked at the display of pastries. Mars was named after the Roman god of war. You wouldn't happen to have a Danish with, say, cherry-filled insides, would you? Cherry-filled insides? Yes, as if it had been run through with a sword, and one that is cold. If you could put it in the freezer for half an hour, that should do it. Should do what exactly? The average temperature on Mars is minus 81 degrees Fahrenheit. I know it's not possible here, but I must acclimatize. Nevertheless, Ellen Opengate approached. I heard about your husband. The story was in the local papers. They said you were wanting to go to Mars. Mars? I should like to be the first human to step on Mars. It should be possible within a decade. Till then, I have been studying Mars, Pennsylvania. It's a wonderful town, about 1,600 people. If I should be lucky enough to leave on my journey, starting from Mars, to go to Mars, and return to Mars, what a story I could tell. So, you're going to Mars, Pennsylvania then? Money. It's always a question of money. How dull we become when we fixate on money. There isn't any Martian monetary system. A person is free to think up there. Imagine all the nature of thought you could entertain, unfettered by mind-numbing need to carry a wallet. That's the story of how Mrs. Wiggle fell into enough money to move to Mars, Pennsylvania, and as an added touch, they purchased a used Land Rover to take her there.